What is up, all you beautiful bald people? My name is Baloney Patch Bob. I'm here with Nichole, and we're Scalp Logic. And today, fun topic. It really is a craze in our world.
It really is.
The laser removal craze in scalp
SMP,
micropigmentation.
Yeah, it's I truly think it started with your video that everybody just started realizing they could have a better result. Not even just the people that were botched, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't think it was my video. There's that Fuzi video. That was huge. There's a lot of them.
That's true. That was a really big one. That brought a lot of awareness. But I mean, I think you as a scalp micropigmentation artist taking it off and then saying, I want better. I think that really started. I mean, for us, we do, how many guys would you say a month that have gone through the laser process? I think we're seeing around...
Well, we're a different operation. We don't do 2 people a day, 3 people a day. I mean, we really carve out a lot of life memories. Like, we're not working like animals anymore. And we did 4 guys last week.
Just last week.
All of them needed removal.
Yes.
So when we say the craze in SMP, we're not talking about the obvious botch jobs. We're talking about the ones that are maybe mediocre or most people wouldn't notice.
Yep.
But our question to everybody out there, if you have SMP, is, are you braggadocious about it? Like if a stranger sees you, if you're in line and you know people are staring at your head, do you feel good about it? Are you like, yeah, go ahead, check it out? Like,
exactly.
Or do you feel like you just want to kind of curl away or put something up and cover it up? To me, that's a black and white issue. It's a yes or a no. There's no in between. And if there's in between, that's what I'm talking to you. I'm saying, man, take it off.
Yeah.
You're better off being bald.
Agreed. 100%.
And just forget the hair loss solution, right?
Absolutely.
And then again, what you can have if you decide to have subtle pigmentation, night and day difference, right? Does it look real? Does it look like does each impression look like the size of a hair follicle or not? Like we said in our last video, right?
Yes.
Talk to them, Nichole, because you're on the phones with these guys all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the process is different for each client, right? A lot of times they'll reach out and they'll say, hey, they're asking us, do you think that I have a botch job? And they're like, they're really like unsure, like, yeah. And I think if you're already thinking that question and you're asking yourself, do you have a botch job?
There it is.
You pretty much do have a botch job. And I think it's at that point if you want to go through the laser process. And I do think a lot of people are intimidated by the laser process, like, oh my God.
That's it. We know that. We know that's true. We know that's true. I know guys that don't consider getting subtle pigmentation or SMP in anticipation that they might need to laser remove it one day. I mean, and it is pretty brutal. It's pretty extreme. I mean, to get a laser removed, but I mean, that's what we're trying to do. We're here on our soapbox trying to prevent people from
having to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But once you do have to do it, I don't think it's as crazy as people make it seem. And maybe because I've had laser done quite a few times. And I talk with so many clients and I walk them through the process.
Yeah.
It's not as crazy as you guys think. And I kind of want to quickly just go through the process. It's identifying that you need it, then going to a laser specialist that has had experience with SMP removal. Everybody's different. Some guys generally would only need 1 to 3 sessions of laser removal. And I want to make sure I highlight that. The more extreme cases, we've seen guys up to 14 laser sessions.
Yeah, but that's very extreme. There's a lot going on. And they could have avoided that many sessions.
Absolutely. By finding the right laser tech is what I truly believe. But there is a healing process in between each laser session, and that's anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks, depending on the person. So it is a bit time consuming, and I want to make sure they do understand that.
Okay.
Then other than that, I think we should get into the guys.
Yeah, well, I want to mention there was a great comment on our YouTube just yesterday I saw. The question was, how do you know when there's too much ink on your head?
Yes.
And I'm racking my brain. How can I put this into words? I think a visual is necessary, but isn't that the issue for everybody out there? And that's what we're trying to convey. There's definitely no set standard, like we said previous, right? It's like, okay, once it hits that threshold in particular, it's very visual. The best I can do is say, look at each impression.
Yes.
And if you can't see impressions, then it's already an issue there. Yeah, exactly. But if each impression, again, is larger than the hair follicle, and we're doing, we do 4 or 5 sessions. It's pretty standard for us, 3 to 5 sessions, sometimes more.
Yes.
I don't know, 5,000 impressions, 10,000 impressions in one session.
We
Not
get
all
asked
of them
that question
stay.
all the time, and I'm like, I don't know how many impressions.
I'm just trying to make a point. I'm trying to highlight that if a couple of them are unsavory, then you better believe the rest of them. Because in our world, with subtle pigmentation, if there's 2 or 3 or 5 impressions that are too big, that's like, that's my worst nightmare. I mean, I'll lose sleep over that. I'll be like, oh my God, I can't do this to somebody, because I would never want to walk around wearing that. So, okay, let's get into some pictures. Yeah, like you said. And we'll put these up on the screen, but just so you can, I can see. Let's talk about, I think we discussed
that one first. So
we'll call
Client
this
X.
Client X, I like that.
Okay.
And that's the other, that's the other issue. You know, we're trying to educate people out here, but most of these guys that have laser removal going on, they don't want us using pictures. They don't even want to tell us who they went to.
Yeah.
I think it's a form of, I don't know what that is. There's a lot of psychological.
Well, they're embarrassed. It's like you finally, you know, they feel that they did a lot of research and they found somebody that would really give them an amazing job, and then here they are having to remove it. There's a lot of embarrassment and like ashamed, you know, of going through that.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, nobody wants to feel like they were fooled.
So this gentleman, and I think his hair was longer. Client X, right?
Yes.
His hair was longer when he got it done.
Much longer, and we can show a picture of that. Is his hair was very long, and so it was almost like he was asking us, like, "Am I botched? You know, my hair is pretty much covering it." But he was thinking of the future. If I need to shave down, is it botched? And with the hair, it was almost overwhelming, the treatment. So you could really camouflage it quite nicely, you know, and get away with it. But once we started really looking at it, it was like, absolutely, you need to get that removed.
Yeah, and I think as far as the density jobs, we call them, when people have longer hair.
Yep.
I mean, you've been at it 3.5 years. In that time period, when you first started in this industry, I think less and less providers and companies actually offer density jobs. So there's a couple people that we know, they don't even work on people with hair. Everyone has to shave. And good reason for that. I think good on them. Because it's two-dimensional. It's flat. And I think if we could show a picture of when I grew mine out a couple of weeks. You know, it looks great. It looks bold.
It overwhelms the treatment because of what we do is so natural and undetectable. Hair has volume. It moves. As amazing as what we do is, it's flat. It's not 3D.
If you're looking for a density job, that's what I want to convey. It's definitely, you should be even more choosy than others in who you go with.
You have to walk a very fine balance. You're like on a tightrope saying, okay, well, if I decide to grow it out, can I do that? If I decide to shave it down, can I do that? So to have the best of both worlds, you got to pick the right provider. That's really it.
Okay. All right. So anything else about Client X?
So I think Client X could have honestly had another laser
session. So that's after one laser removal. Yeah, let's go ahead and tell them that. So he went through one laser removal session. That's after one. So what we're going to do in his case is we're going to, in conjunction with me doing SMP on his head and cleaning it all up and blending it all together, I'm going to saline remove. And it'll take me a couple of sessions. And let's talk about that for a second. Saline versus laser. A lot of guys, do we get those calls? Do people think they can be saved with just the saline?
They definitely do ask, but I think a lot of the guys already know that laser is just going to be the cleaner option, a lot easier than
it is. And 90% of the case, 95, that's what you need to do. You need to laser it off. Like Client X right here, he had to do one laser to really get it away. I would say, I agree, you know, in the perfect world, he would do one more laser removal. But we'll have some fantastic results, I have no doubt. Once I can do some removal.
Continuous removal,
Yeah, awesome.
Perfect then. So
this one here?
Yes.
Well, we haven't seen this gentleman yet.
No, so this has been an ongoing process.
So he's getting this removed.
Yes, and so he's already had one laser session done, and then you know, everything that happened last year, he had to, the laser place closed down, so he really just had to wait to get another session. So he's just about to go in for his second session of laser.
Let's talk about that for a second, because we get guys all over the world really, but we'll just say all over the nation. All over the nation. And there's not that many laser techs that will take on the scalp scan.
No, it's this has been my experience. So I work really closely with these gentlemen and make sure that they find a place that has the experience and can remove it and knows what they're doing. But a lot of the times, and this is my experience, is I feel like the laser techs just want to keep getting them in for more sessions. I mean, that's really the truth. I feel like they do, and it's almost like, oh, we're going to be super, super careful. And I love that approach. That's completely our approach. But at the same time, there's a difference between, let me get this guy in for 10 laser sessions, or really, can I ideally remove it in 2 or 3?
Okay.
I would say that's a big deal.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of news to me. What I know to be true is most laser removal people, they just don't want to work on someone with the scalp. They see the head tattoo, they go, oh yeah, we remove tattoos, we do, and then they see, you know, a guy submits pictures like, oh, we can't help you, sorry about that. That's scary for me. So rampant, I would say, this SMP locations are popping up like Starbucks, especially in California,
Yes.
all over.
Yep.
And man, I know this is happening to people, and there's not that many outlets to get it removed.
There's
That's
not.
scary to me.
There's
So do
not
we
at
have
all.
any kind of advice we can give people? Let's say they're in that position, they want to start
Yes.
looking. First of all, I think you'd probably agree it's worth traveling.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I would say.
Mm.
Is California has a lot of really good places.
Okay.
The East Coast, not so much. I would honestly say the ones that have the most experience I've found right now are in California as well as Texas.
Mm.
Those two places. Everywhere else has been sometimes hit or miss. Just
Mhm.
being very frank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now this one's really interesting.
Yes.
So, okay, like we said, the obvious botched Lego heads, we knew they need to get laser removed. Let's talk about like some mediocre work. And
Yes.
this is some of the, to keep the privacy of everybody, we'll just say it's a larger company, right? A very
Yes.
reputable company.
And I would say it's this person's inner person saying something's up. I don't feel comfortable with it. Yeah, everybody's telling me it looks good, but something inside was just saying no. It's off. It's off. I know it's off. They're telling me it's not off, but it's off. I think that's
Right.
a really big deal, and people need to listen to that.
Yeah.
Those feelings come up for a reason.
Yeah, I'll just say this because again, privacy is a big factor here. This gentleman had to go to bat and fight and reason with people and say, look, I don't think this is as good as it could possibly
That's
look.
it, yeah.
And gosh, what did he get in response? It was like, this is what everybody looks like, This is it. This is the cool part. And he, he really felt alone in that stance, and that breaks my heart. I wish we could. Wish there was something more we could do other than, but that's it. We need to set a standard. We
Exactly,
need to.
and that's why we're having these conversations.
Absolutely. So let's just take a look closely so we can
Yes.
tell people why this isn't ideal. So this is one session done.
Yes.
Typically they do 2 or 3 sessions. So if you can just visualize more. So what you'll do is they'll put impressions on top of impressions. And if you look at the size of these impressions, what I keep repeating, look at the size of a natural hair follicle, because this gentleman has plenty of hair still.
Yes.
You can see the size of a hair follicle, the circumference, versus the size of these impressions. I'd say you could fit, 3 or 4 real hairs inside of each impression?
Exactly.
Which is, again, it's good. 10 years ago, I would have appreciated this, but in our world, as you just gave that response, it's not good. It's unsavory. It's scary. There's no business people doing that in our world, right?
That's it. And again, we're always saying, we understand you guys are in your mind thinking, okay, I just need to cover the hair loss.
Yeah.
But what is this going to look like healed? I don't think we can say that enough.
Yeah. Oh, good point. So this is healed, right? So would this look like fresh when this was immediately done? It looked, did it look better? Did it look worse?
I think it's actually at first, the first 2 days, it looked really good to him. He was like, oh, okay, I like this. This is awesome. Okay, cool.
Going. Yeah.
The minute it started healing, the redness started to die down, was like, uh-oh, I don't think so. I don't think this is right.
Yeah. That's a big one. There's a lot going on in the healing process. There's a lot going on. That's worth the video in itself.
Yes,
really
it is.
talk about that.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
cool. Okay, let's anything else we could say about this?
I think this is just one of those cases, like I keep saying, it's people doing their research, but really internally figuring out that they know that they can have better, and identifying that, and then making a decision based on that.
Yeah, again, that's it. It's if you're stuck, everyone has their own story here, but to me, it's like if you're at the gym, if you're at the grocery store, and someone's standing behind you and standing over you, looking. Are you feeling great about yourself? They're like, hey, you want to check it out and talk about it? Really, your willingness to talk about it. We get a lot of guys in the hair loss world. There's no guys with hair transplants. They're like, yo, check out my hair transplant. This is the scar. This is where the hair nobody wants to show it off, because that's a testament to how good something looks, right?
Really
the standard's not there.
Yeah.
I profess, if you do subtle pigmentation the right way, you'll a guy that's like, I don't want to talk about my hair loss ever under any circumstance. I don't want to tell my mom, tell my wife, right? After he gets subtle pigmentation, he's like, you know what? Take a look. And he's that proud. To me, that
everything.
warms my heart. That makes me smile.
Or even the guys on the other hand that still don't want anybody to know, but they'll be right underneath somebody in the brightest light you can think of. And nobody knows. And like almost inner like, I got that. That's it.
In my opinion, this industry is sitting idle. It's being blocked as far as how much it should grow.
Agreed.
If people had the right information, and they were artists with integrity and knowledge, and willing to do the labor, because it takes a heck of a lot of labor.
So much work, yes.
I think a lot more guys would jump on the subtle pigmentation.
Agreed.
And gosh, being a guy going through hair loss, and I know I was pretty extreme. I mean, I lost all my confidence. I was sucked dry. But the different life of living like, I'll say like a chump versus living proud of yourself and happy with who you are and what you look like. I know there's a lot to it, you know, shallow, be happy with what you are, blah, blah, blah. But
why not be the
night
best
and day
you can
difference.
be?
Why not live the best life you
Yeah,
can, you know?
absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to do here is give you information. So if you're missing your hair, you know, you want to do subtle pigmentation, SMP, you know, these are the questions you should be asking yourself. What do you think? Anything else, Nicole?
No, I think if you're sitting at home and you're wondering about your SMP job that you've had done and you're wondering if it could be better, I think it's really starting to do your research and make that decision, and don't be afraid of the process.
Yeah. It's 2021. Look around, man. Live like a king, you know? Why not? Life is short.
Life is short.
Thanks for watching, guys.